POC Network here with another unboxing, this time coming from the company Escort. And Escort is one of the leading brands in radar detection and keeping you safe on the road and aware of what's around you. And what we have today is something that basically kind of takes the place of one of our ongoing, I'd say, champions within our years, which was the 9500 IX, which started off with the I and then the IX. And it was both of them actually were fantastic radar detectors. But the 9500 series lacks one thing, and that's the ability of being able to understand or filter out some of today's technologies. They're no longer modern, both of them, the I or the IX, because a lot of the cars on the road now have various different technologies built into them that allow them to understand the traffic around them. And this could be just traffic safety features that allow them to identify the lines on the road to the vehicles around them. This is the same technology that allows these cars to be able to stop themselves and or drive themselves. And all of this technology, or at least a good portion of it, uses radar. So if you have a 9500i or an iX or just an older model radar detector, and you've noticed that recently your K-band kicks off a lot more than it should, that's probably why. You're probably just driving by one of those cars that have some of that technology built in. So the way to counter that is to get the new and exciting champion, and we have one temporarily here just for a little while to be able to test out. And this is not just one, this is the champion so far out there. This is the Escort Max 360C. And if you're familiar with the Max series in general, it's a pretty neat series, or at least lineup of models. There's only been a few models in the line, but the Detector features a full color screen, way better than the older screens that had, just red or blue. Text on the screen. Now you have a full color screen. It's easier to read. It gives you your speed. It tells you what the speed limit of the current road you're on. It tells you the speed you're going. It gives you your K-band and everything else, your Ka-band, laser. It tells you everything, but not only does it give you what you expect out of a radar detector, including your speed, but the direction of which you're getting hit from. So if you're getting hit by a radar somewhere, it's going to tell you we'll just say the officer coming from over there, or is he coming from over there, or is he getting you from behind or from the front? So that way you can be a little bit more aware of your surroundings. It's pretty actually neat. And it has a bunch of features in there. So we can only assume that this has all the features that were in the 9500 series that made it so reliable, plus all the fancier, higher tech options. So it's more than just a cool treat or toy to play with, but it actually has the guts inside to do the job just as well. So what we're going to do today is we're going to open this up. We're going to see what it looks like, see what it comes with on the inside of this box here, and then you're going to go to POCnetwork.net where we're going to have a full review about this later on once we've had a chance to really take this out and test it and see what we think about it. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get to that. We've already taken the plastic off of this. We have some documentation right on the top here. We have a congratulations, we trust you'll enjoy your high-performance Escort detector. If you have questions about our detector, hey, stop, don't return it, contact us. And by us, I mean them, Escort, don't contact us, because we can't really provide tech support for them. But go check them out at Escort if you have any questions about it. And then, of course, you have a manual here. Looks like just a little fold-out that tells you everything about your radar detector. And what's really neat about this, if you're familiar with the 9500 series, is you have the updates that they provide to you through USB, or in this model also provides Wi-Fi. And this is going to be for the active updated set of maps for red light cameras, speed traps. All of this thanks to this amazing crowdsourced network that they have built over the years that allows users to be able to identify certain points as you're driving by them. So, again, red light camera, any kind of a speed trap. That way it works a lot like Waze. Everybody can be alerted that's using an Escort radar to the fact that that's there. It does require a subscription, just like the older models did, so there is that. And that's only if you want to be able to keep up to date with all of that. So if you want updates and everything about the current maps and GPS locations of all the speed traps and red light cameras that are current and be able to keep up to date with it, you do have to have a subscription. Beyond that, you don't have to have a subscription. Everything else works perfectly fine with the unit. But again, what's really cool about that is the older units, the 9500 series, at least the iX, the I never really worked. work. The USB was supposed to work. It was a coming soon feature that they ended up scrapping that and saying, sorry, you'll have to upgrade to our iX instead. The iX has that working feature in there, and then you can plug it into your laptop via that USB port and update your databases within the radar detector accordingly. So the instructions are pretty informative. There's a lot going on in here in just these few pages. They pretty much break everything down, let you know what's on the screen and what all your buttons are. If you're familiar with some of the radar detectors of the past, a lot of this functionality is going to be similar. You got your power button, brightness, volume, mute, display, mark location, sensitivity, and so forth. It's a lot of that is kind of copy and paste for the most part. What you're getting in terms of what's new is what's in the inside, in the connectivity. So moving on to the case is just nothing too special about this compared to some of the cases we've seen in the past. You got a little pouch in the back here, which is going to be for probably accessories or anything else you want to put in here. You have a little card that slides in and out. This just has some contact information for Escort, website, phone number, email in case you need support, if you have questions or anything about the product. Of course, with how much you're paying for this, you'd hope they'd throw themselves at you like this for support. To get to everything, you just gotta, everything slides into, it looks like 2 pockets here. So you just gotta reach in there for it all. We have here your typical cable here, pigtail type cable with your mute option here. What's really nice is they do give you a USB port here, so that way you're not just taking up the outlet when you're plugging this in. The only disadvantage to that is the fact that the USB port is just 2 amps. So if you have one of those newer devices that require fast charging, if you want to plug this out to like a wireless charger or something like that that requires something higher than 2 amps, then you have to go for a different outlet. But it does make use on the other side that similar RJ11 connection that you've seen in some of the ones in the past. This is what brings power to the unit. Sometimes you can find some third-party cables that'll tap into like your powered mirror or something like that, so that way you don't have to have a cable running all over the darn place. And then of course you also usually have the option of going with just, instead of a pigtailed coiled cable like this, just a straight cable that's long enough to run through the molding of your car and everything, and somewhere's out of sight. And in this case it looks like that is an additional accessory. You have a suction cup mount, and it's similar to a lot of the suction cup mounts that you see with just about anything out there, dash cams and radar detectors alike, as you have the sticky side that goes to the window. It's protected here, so you had some extra sticky material plus the suction cup action there to lock onto the window with. The only difference is, instead of having your typical sliding clip that attaches to the top, I'm gonna guess this is magnet. Yes, so this is a magnet in there, and so it's a little bit different. Hopefully it's strong enough so when you're be a little too crazy with your car, or if you put this into a Jeep, it's not gonna fall off. You have some protective material here on the back. It's, again, 360 degrees. It's going to be able to detect on all sides on where you're getting hit from. It's a little bit, maybe just a tad bigger than some of the ones in the past, like the 9500. Just maybe, just a little bit bigger, not by much. About the same weight, maybe, give or take. There's a lot of similarities in terms of your sensors, and really that magnet feature is kind of cool. And it looks like it does provide an incredible amount of attachment there. So this shouldn't, even if you're four-wheeling, shouldn't come flying off. I would consider that a success right there. But the whole reason why it doesn't want to come off is there's more to it than just a magnet. I mean, there's a little lip in the front, so if you just pull straight down, it's not going to come off. You actually have to kind of tilt it and then pop it off, and it's just that little lip there that's providing that assistance towards gravity there. But you have, again, your buttons on the top. You have your sensitivity button here. You have your power button. You have your brightness button for the screen. You have your mute. And you have your volume up and volume down. You have your mark button in the center there, and that's just to mark the location. So if you want to identify the location you're in right now as you're sitting at a red light, and you want to say, hey, there's a red light camera here. You can do that. And then hopefully once you sync it to your laptop, and or if you're tethering to your phone wirelessly, it's probably going to go into the cloud and let everybody else know who has an Escort radar that, hey, there's a red light camera here, be careful, don't get yourself busted, and or really drive safe. Don't do stupid stuff. That's it. It's actually, it's simple. The kit is not too involved compared to some of the models we've seen in the past that come with all sorts of different accessories or anything like that. You just have, 3 accessories if you're counting the case. You got the case, you got the cable or the smart power adapter, or smart cord as they call it. And then you have this. As for the connection on the 9500 series, I don't know if that is exactly the same as this, and it most likely is. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's RJ11. If so, there's a small chance, and again, air quotes, because don't take my word for it. We haven't tested it out just yet, but there's a small chance that maybe this might, your old one might work on this too. So if you did get a third-party cable that kind of taps into your powered mirror, so you don't have the cable running around, you might be able to still use that one. If not, then you're gonna have to use this and find one to replace that with. I can say personally that those are cool. I've used those in the past. In fact, I think a lot of us have used those in the past. And because the 9500's been running rampant around here for quite a few years now. We have quite a few models kicking around. But this is our only model for the Escort Max 360, or 360C. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this out, we're going to test it out, we're going to see how it really works. Does it perform as well or better? We'll put it side by side with the 9500. Does it really work for what it's supposed to? It's supposed to be able to be just as useful as some of those older models, and plus the ability to filter out some of that new in-vehicle technology that we see in today's cars. And the last thing we need is a bunch of false positives as we're driving down the road by everybody's car going by us. And, and then you never really know what you're getting. Sure, it's a lot of, a slap in the face lets you know every 5 seconds, like, hey, just drive safe. But it gets kind of annoying after the first 20 minutes of that. So hopefully this solves that. Hopefully this gets rid of any of those false alerts. And hopefully anytime it goes off, all it is going to be a police officer. And, that slap in your face as you're driving by would be a legitimate one to let you know, like, hey, you are being watched, and drive safe. So again, this is going to have a whole story on it later on at POCnetwork.net once we've had the opportunity to be able to take it out and test it. So POCnetwork.net for the full review. If you liked what you've seen here, don't forget to subscribe below. We have that button down there, as well as a comment section so we can all talk about this. This has been out for a little while, so let us know. Do you have a Max C at home or a Max? Let us know what your experience has been. How well has it performed over time, or at least the time that you've owned it? And do you like it or not? So use that comment section down there. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, we thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. If you want to stay on top of all the latest and greatest, or at least the gadgets we cover, remember to subscribe right here. Subscription button. Click it. You're going to want to. There's lots of videos, interviews, previews, all sorts of stuff. Button. Click it.